Hey everybody, so I'm in San Jose, California right now for Apple's WWDC. So the reason the street is so empty right now, it's because one, San Jose is just like a pretty empty city, but two, because it's 2:30 a.m. right now. Apologies for that noise. It's 2:30 a.m. right now. So the reason I'm up in the middle of the night and you can see my hair is really messy is because I just woke up from a nap. So the thing is, when I cover an event like WWDC or MWC, it's just crazy for me because I'm here by myself. Everyone else here has a team. Like a team, one guy that does video, one guy does reporting, and another guy maybe like running around planning everything. With me, just one man. So I always have to work all day, like 13, 14-hour days. So today, I was up since 6 a.m. running around, and I got back to the hotel at 9, and I was gonna start doing this video, but then I fell asleep, and I just woke up right now at like 2:30 a.m. So I decided, you know what, gotta finish the video even if it's the middle of the night, and I'm gonna go get dinner too. Get dinner at like 3 a.m. basically. So yeah, WWDC. I'm not gonna do like an overview of what was announced because by now everyone already knows what was announced. I'll just give you a quick summary of what I like the most. So it's my first Apple event, and it's a little bit surreal being in the same room with Tim Cook, but also just one of the things that kind of was cool and also kind of scary was just how many people use iPhones and Apple products in America. So at WWDC obviously, and also outside and at the nearby hotels, all the lobbies and stuff, I would say in the last 2 days, like 98% of the people I saw were using Apple products. So I'm talking about iPhones, AirPods, MacBooks, iPads. So sometimes I would look down a room and literally see like there's like 100 people in the room, and like 99% of them have a notch on the screen because they're using iPhone 10. So most of these people are using iPhone 10s too. And, you know, it's not just Apple staff, obviously. All the attendees, I look around, everybody's using an iPhone. I'm the only one there with an Android. I'm holding my LG G7. In fact, I'm shooting with the LG G7 right now. So back to WWDC. So these are my favorite features. We'll start with iOS 12. So iOS 12. The best feature, or the ones I'm most excited about, one, it's grouped notifications. So previously, you guys know that iPhone notifications suck, right? For example, if you get 12 WhatsApp messages from one person, on iPhones, you just get 12 messages pop up on your lock screen saying, you have a message, you have a message, you have a message, like 12 times. But on Android, you get one notification card with 12 saying you have 12 messages. So iOS 12 will apparently start doing that. All your notifications will be grouped together by people and by app. So that'll clean up your lock screen a lot and make iOS a lot more tolerable for me. So the second thing that I really like is screen time. So Apple is marketing this as a wellness app that helps people deal with screen addiction. So they're not on their phone as much. Because it shows you complete stats, and you can even control, you can even set a time limit. Like every day I only want 1 hour on Instagram, and it'll just lock me out of the app. So I kind of like that. Not that I need to control myself how much I use the phone, but I'm like a stats geek. I just like to look at numbers. So I like to be able to look at my weekly summary and be like, oh wow, I unlocked my phone like 680 times this week, and I was on Instagram a total of like 6 hours. So stuff like that. And parents can use this to control their kids, the kids' iPhone. They can be like, okay, I'm going to lock their access to Instagram or Facebook after 10 p.m. So that's very useful for parents, but I think kids would be so mad. I mean, if I was a kid, I would be pissed off. So the third cool feature from iOS 12 is you can now FaceTime up to 32 people. Now, that's a little bit much. Personally, I think a better number is probably like 6 to 8 people. But I checked out the user interface. I tried it, and it ran very smoothly, even with like 30 people together in the chat. And the user interface pretty intuitive, pretty clean, typical Apple style. And Apple says that even if whether you talking to 32 people or 3 people, you're using the same bandwidth, same internet connection. So it's not like you're going to be getting a big data bill just because you're talking to 32 people. And one of the things that a lot of people will love, doesn't really matter to me, is you can now slap animojis over your face as you're on FaceTime. And on top of that, not just Animoji, iOS 12 introduces Memoji, which is like an animated version of yourself that you can create. So it's like Samsung's AR emoji, but much better, because Samsung's AR emoji doesn't really track your face that well. But with memoji on iOS 12, you'll definitely be able to. I can, for example, if I shoot this video on FaceTime, I can put a version of myself, like a cartoon version of myself, over my head, and it'll be talking just as I'm talking and follow all my facial movements. And iOS 12 will also track your tongue now, so you can stick your tongue at people like that. You know, pretty dumb, pretty silly, but I think a lot of people will like it. I'm not sure how much I would use it though. So now moving on to, wait, no, one more thing about iOS 12 I forgot to mention. So this is a huge feature actually. I interviewed 6 or 7 different developers and they all said that feature is a game changer. It's just for me, I don't know how often I would use it. But a Siri shortcut. So Siri shortcuts is basically like the app If This Then That. I don't know if you're familiar. It's basically allows you to pull off a chain of commands using a custom phrase with Siri. So I'll give you an example. Let's say every morning you get Starbucks on your way to work, and you always order the same coffee, and you pay with credit card or Apple Pay, and then you get in your car and you listen to podcasts or Spotify while you're driving to work. So now with Siri shortcuts, you can build all those commands to start like working with just one phrase. So you can talk to your phone or your watch. The phrase can be like, start my morning routine, or something, you know, like, yo, start my day. Then Apple, the iOS 12 system will open up your Starbucks app and basically show you the coffee that you always order, and be like, would you like to order this now? And then you can tap yes and pay for it with Apple Pay, and you can go pick up your coffee right away. It's already paid for. And then when you get inside your car after that, it will open up podcasts and probably play the newest episode of the podcast you always listen to, or maybe your Spotify playlist. So just pretty cool features. But the reason I say I won't use it that much is because most of these applies to Americans, and I think maybe people in Europe. Like in Hong Kong, for example, a lot of Hong Kong apps may not work well with Siri. And on top of that, people don't drive in Hong Kong, so there's no need for that. So it's something that should be very useful to a lot of people, but just doesn't apply to me. And all the app developers I talk to are very excited about this, because they said it will give them new ways to build things into their app. So that's about it for iOS 12. There's like stuff like ARKit 2.0, that's pretty cool, but I'm not going to get into that. There are much better videos out there. So now let's get to WatchOS 5 on Apple Watch. So the biggest feature that I like is walkie-talkie. So as the name suggests, it's an app on the Apple Watch that allows you to send a quick message to someone that you're choosing. Now that person has to use an Apple Watch, so that again is quite limiting for me, because in Hong Kong I think I know like maybe 5 people with Apple Watch, and of those 5, maybe 2 people I want to talk to. But imagine if you live in the US, or if you work in an office where like several people have Apple Watches, so you can just send a message to them without needing to, you know, like pick up your phone, without needing to send a text and type and all that. All you do is tap on a button and be like, hey, where are you? And then the voice message will send. And sound quality is very good. It's all done through cellular or Wi-Fi. And you know, your Apple Watch will always be connected to either Wi-Fi or cellular anyway, so that means it will work for basically everyone with an Apple Watch. So I think that'll be a very fun feature. I just wish I had more people to use it with. So now another thing with WatchOS 5 is automatic fitness tracking. So a lot of people think, runners think it's great, because sometimes they'll go for a run and they'll forget to track their workouts. So now the watch will start tracking for you retroactively, and even when you remember to log in later, it will actually have all your workout data. Again, not a big deal for me, because I just go to the gym and I'm very good at remembering. But I understand that what applies to me does not apply to everybody. To a lot of people, these are huge changes that will just make them love iOS and WatchOS even more. So I'm not going to get into Mac OS, because I don't use a MacBook anymore. I use PC. But generally a lot of like design changes that I think are popular with coders, like such as dark mode and all of that. But overall, no new hardware this year, WWDC, so slightly disappointing. But I think all the software changes are important. Like stuff like group notifications and screen times are great, and really just makes your iPhone less cluttered. And WatchOS, walkie-talkie, it's a huge feature for people in America especially, where they might know a lot of people with Apple Watch. So that's it for now. It's, what time is it now? It's like 2:49 a.m. So I think I'm gonna go back to the hotel and finish editing this video, and then I'm gonna grab dinner at like 3 a.m. and I gotta write 2 more articles. So thank you for watching my videos. I know compared to all the other slick YouTubers who are at WWDC, it's definitely production value is not as high, and I'm definitely late to this. And you know, I'm not as polished a speaker, but I'm trying. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the support.